What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of 27 in Q. Where has that man been alongside the strange one, the familiar face, the two-time Super Bowl
I'm
champion,
here, man.
running back with the New York Football Giants, Mr. Brandon Jacobs, number 27. I'm Rich Quinones. It has been a minute, my friend. I feel like we were just talking NFL playoffs. We were talking a little bit of NBA. It's great to see a familiar face, brother.
Hey, man, good to see you as well, my brother. You know, a lot of things has happened since we last been together on the show. A lot of stuff to get into, a lot of stuff going on in all sports.
Yes.
From you got NBA, you got the NFL, you got boxing, you know, you got MMA, you got a lot of stuff going on right now, and in all of those sports, like big time stuff that I think we should hit on it.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Let's do it as always. All right, so let's get into the boxing, right? It's fresh, man. It's our wheelhouse. I know you're a passionate boxing guy. You know, it's your wheelhouse. It's your forte and background as well. So we had Shakur. You know, I listen. I thought it was a really nice performance. I thought he did what he had to do. I mean, that's what you look for in a young fighter. We talked a little bit about this. I would say maybe 3 or 4 months ago, we were talking about where you would put Shakur, where you would like to see him going forward. I mean, made the debut, first bout, lightweight, boxed exceptionally well. You know, again, added to pressure, able to get Yoshino out in there. I believe it was the 6th round, 50% landed of total punches. I mean, that's a dominating performance by Shakur Stevenson, right? So I'll ask you the obvious question is, all right, what's next for Shakur Stevenson, right? Do you see maybe a matchup against Lomachenko if Loma can get past Haney? I mean, we'll throw out a couple of names there, but give me your thoughts on Shakur right now, and what do you think's next for him?
I'm thinking those are the only 2 fighters for him right now at this point, with the promotional company he's with Top Rank and Bob Arum, and a lot of those guys over there. I mean, as we've been able to see in the past, they hadn't been able to do business on the other side. You know, so with that being said, you know, same thing Terrence Crawford dealt with for a long time, being with Top Rank, and the other guys are just they just won't. But somehow it's hard for them to agree to terms on the fight and who should get what, right? So with that being said, which I think Top Rank is a great promotional company, got a great relationship with a lot of those people over there. You know, just in boxing, and just haven't been able to get things to go together. So now you got, here's your Top Rank fighters in Devin Haney, and Lomachenko. Those are the 2 guys you got to pick from. Which is going to be, out of the winner of that fight. I'm taking, that I take it. But until they're able to get some kind of negotiation resolved with Al Heyman and his side of boxing and what he got going on with his guys, like Tank and Ryan Garcia and guys like that, he'll be able to get in the ring with some guys like that. But right now, I just think is out of the winner out of Lomachenko and Devin Haney, which I think Devin Haney wins easy.
So you mentioned Haney, right? And Shakur, obviously, Top Rank guy. So you would think, all right, maybe it just makes sense. William Zepeda, he's got a fight coming up in April 29th, late April. He's 27-0, 23 knockout southpaw. He's ranked 5th by the WBC. What about, Lomachenko? Loma's got to get past Haney, right? And I think that potentially, if he pulls off the upset. Now, remember too, had the bad loss, right? The upset loss against Lopez. He's won 3 straight after that. Everyone said, okay, he's
well. This is really an upset loss though against Lopez. Like really, he dominated him. You ask me.
No, but gambling odds wise, Lopez beating Lomachenko was an upset.
Yeah, because everybody has been riding Lomo's back about. This guy, he's a phenomenal talent. He plays good defense. He's so fast. He's so strong. But he's been fighting tomato cans the whole time. He didn't have one guy in there who was a title contender before he lost to Teal. Not one guy. He been fighting. I'm talking about like opening tomato cans left and right.
Well, he lost early in his career, but you're right. He fought for a title with a handful of bouts. I think everyone was looking at the amateur record, right? His amateur record was just stellar. It was on another level. I thought it was an upset. If you look at the odds and what Teofimo Lopez has done since, right? Teofimo Lopez has to still fight Josh Taylor in June. I feel as though we look at, I think if Loma gets well, it doesn't matter. It's a moot point if he loses to Haney. Let's just say he gets past Haney, right? But he still doesn't look good, which means Haney had an awful night. We'll just keep it right there for a moment. People are going to say, well, now you're going to have Shakur fight him. And Shakur's going to be in this no-win situation where, all right, you're getting a guy who's kind of well past his prime at Lomachenko. So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? We've had this conversation for years now with the sport of boxing. I personally, give me Haney and give me Shakur Stevenson. I'll sign up for that right now. But to your point, I don't think it's going to happen, at least not in the imminent future.
Yeah, I agree. I think I can agree. Unless, these guys will wait for a long time to make these fights. Right now, they're only at 35. They got 2 more weight classes to jump up to the money. You got guys like Charlos bringing money to 154, but all the money has always been at what weight class? 147 pounds.
147.
147 has been a money-making weight for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And right now it's the same thing I was saying about him. Like, I would have went to 40 if I was him, because who's at 40? You got Tio and Josh and Taylor, I think, is there. But I mean, come on, man. I think Shakur can fight with them guys, man. I don't think they're really that much bigger than him.
Jose Ramirez, you got Regis Prograis. You got him.
Okay, Regis. I know Regis, great fighter.
Yep.
Great fight. I think him and Shakur will be a banger, actually.
You got Gary Russell, right? You still got Zepeda, who I mentioned. I'm talking US right now, right? Sandor, I'm just pulling up. Yeah, I mean, and then obviously you mentioned Ryan Garcia, which, by the way, the Garcia and Davis fight. Are you going to that fight?
No, boxing has completely priced me out, bro.
Really?
Boxing has priced me out. The most I paid for a fight ticket, I bought 2 fight tickets. I spent $7,000 on a Floyd Mayweather Cotto fight. I spent $3,500 a piece on those tickets and we went out. And
what year was that?
That was the most I've ever spent on the fight.
What year was
that? I mean, that was. I can't even remember when it was, but it was like maybe, I don't know. I can't remember when they fought, but I got 2 tickets to go to that fight, and it completely. I can't say priced me out because I can afford to go to a fight, but it's just stupid when you need to save money and put your money in the right places and do the right thing with your money, man, and just spending $4,000 or $5,000 on tank ticket. I don't just go in the arena and sit in the building. I don't go in there and say, hey, I'm in the building, I was at the fight. No, I like to sit ringside. I like to sit on the floor. So my tickets are a hell of a lot different than your normal Joe Schmo. So with that being said, I'm not interested in going to. I might go to Shakur Stevenson.
Next fight.
Devin Haney.
Devin Haney.
Fight. I might do that. I might attend that one.
Yeah. That was 2012.
Is that when it was?
Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, 2012. Yeah. Yeah. I would probably be texting you and say, hey, man, look up. Look up.
Yeah. Well, that's where I would go if I really, but for me, man, boxing is kind of priced me out.
It's a fair point. I mean, some of these fights, they're not worth $49.99, $59.99, $69.99. They're just not. I get why they do it, but I wish there were, better fights, notable fights on network TV, right? I mean, opposed to this, but we know all about the pay-per-view animal. I mean, hell, look what the NFL is about to do with YouTube and Amazon Prime, and now they want another game during the week. I think the Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia fight, I think it's going to be a hell of a fight, man. And I know everyone's like, Davis is going to knock him the hell out and this and that. And man, I think, go ahead.
For me, from my boxing knowledge, I love Tank. I love the way Tank fight. I love the way Tank bang. I love how tough he is. Straight go getter, right? Big. I wish Tank win the fight. There's no question about it. But if the right 5'10", 5'11" Ryan Garcia show up to the arena, it could be a long night for Tank just because of the size and the speed and his ability to box and move. If he can keep Tank away from him, being what 3-4 inches taller than him,
100%.
if he can keep him away from him and just box and be smart and don't try to show off for his YouTube fans and try to go in there and bang with Tank, I think he can box his way out of this fight with a win if the right guys show up. Now, with that being said, these guys, sometimes you got to save them for themselves. If he get in there and try to go earmuffs with Tank, he ain't gonna. It won't last long. So it just all depends on what fighter comes to the arena for Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, he's got to use his height advantage. He's got to jab him. You know, his hands are ridiculously fast. He's got the power. He moves around well. He can fight on the bicycle too. But it's that left hook, man. It's dangerous. But to your point, if he gets careless and he starts opening up a little bit, what's Tank going to come with, right? He's going to come with that uppercut. That's when he knocks out.
He's going to come with the uppercut. You're going to try to get him in the corner and make it rough.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, if he can go in there and play with Tank if you want, and Tank is a game, which I don't think he's gonna do that. I mean, we all respect Tank enough to know you ain't gonna go in there and play no game. But with that being said, though, man, he has to be able to use his size advantage and his skills in this fight.
So there was a report late last night that right now the bout's in serious jeopardy because of issues with the contract related to a rematch clause. This is per Chris Mannix of SI. Golden Boy Promotions, which promotes for Garcia, reportedly thought it had an agreement in place for a potential rematch, as Golden Boy and DAZN would have been in control of a rematch had Ryan Garcia won. The contract reportedly came back with PBC in control of the rematch. However, and Golden Boy views it as a non-negotiable issue, and they won't budge because of its commitment to DAZN as their pay-per-view carrier. See, this is when you start to kind of get into this. It's all about like the rights. Once you give up, if I say, hey, I'm going to have my fight on DAZN or Showtime or HBO back in the day, my hands are almost tied, right? I've said, look, we're going to have the fight. You're going to produce it. You're going to broadcast it. You're going to televise it. And now all of a sudden I'm out of that equation, right? And I understand why they put in the rematch clause. We all know that, especially if it's a really great fight or if it's a controversial fight. Man, and I'm wondering too, off of that, a lot of people got on Ryan Garcia when he was taking, quote, time away, right, to mentally.
Right, including myself.
Did you really? I don't remember we had that discussion.
Yep, I called him soft. I called him everything under the sun. Called him all kinds of names. He's soft. He don't really want to fight. He's a YouTube model. He's an Instagram model. I said all of that about it. But I know he has ability when he's not afraid to get in the ring. The fight should have happened a while ago because he's been talking and he got the fight. So let's see what, I was one of those guys who was really on him when it came down to fighting. He got signed off on the fight, trained a little bit, and he started talking about his anxiety, right? I know it's real. I get it. Mental health is real. I understand that. But just for me, being a fan, I'm like, he's soft. He's afraid. He don't want to fight. But now he's taking the fight. He's been training. So I want to see how I go.
Yeah, it's always that, the optics, the perception, right? Because you're right. In one breath, if you criticize a person, they really have some issues, then you're branded the fool and the jackass, right? Or, oh, come on, can you believe what this guy's saying? But in the other breath, if you kind of think they're dogging it or just, quote, afraid, I mean, it's that fine line.
It's that easy to run away from a challenge in today's society.
Of course it is.
It's that easy to run away from a challenge. I'm having some mental health issues. My anxiety is out the roof. And yeah, I want to prepare.
That's why people don't like when someone sits there and says, you know what? He's making X amount of money, X amount of dollars, suck it up. There's a difference, right? Injured and hurt. You know that as a player, right?
Right. I get it. People say they're making a certain amount of money, he should suck it up and he should play, he should do this, he should do that. But in reality, you have to mentally be present, right? To mentally be to mentally be present, you also have to be physically present, which comes from focus. If you can't do it, it's really tough to compete.
Yeah, which again, going back to the NFL, you called it prior to the season when you said, I don't really think Tom Brady is, quote, all in. And if you're not all in, you shouldn't be in, right? You can't
You
be,
shouldn't be in if you're
you
not
can't be a
all
little
in. You shouldn't be
pregnant,
in at all.
right?
I just my thing is, I just hate this, especially with Tom. You bring him up, that such a great career, such great achievements, everything that he's done, he was supposed to go out better than he did as a champion. I think Tom Brady deserves that. I don't think he went out like he was supposed to go out. Should have won that Super Bowl and should have been done in Tampa. Should have retired and been over with.
So let's stick with this for a second, because I like where you're going with this, because we got plenty of time over the next couple of weeks, especially with the Davis Garcia fight around the corner. We can get into that next week a lot more. So, you know this, it's very rare for an athlete to go out on top. Now, you're right. The picture perfect Cinderella ending was first year in Tampa. I'm going to have the host city. I'm playing with Tampa. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. We're going to host the Super Bowl. I won the Super Bowl, right off into the sunset. But then I can sit there and say, Joe Namath on bad knees wore a Rams uniform. Franco Harris, an all-time great running back, was with Seattle. Emmitt Smith, Arizona. Jerry Rice. How many different teams, right? I mean, again, you've talked about this how many times? I'm sure in your heart of hearts, you probably didn't want to go at the end of the day to San Francisco. You wanted to have your whole career with the Giants, but different era, different time, business decisions. Here you go. But you won 2 Super Bowls. You know, some players don't even get to have that body of work on their resume. And you're right. Picture perfect would have been Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning with the noodle arm, but the defense carried him and they won a Super Bowl. He
wins MVP, right? Didn't he win MVP?
Not the second one. He didn't even throw the first. He didn't even throw the football. Remember, that defense was ridiculous. That defense was unbelievable in that Super Bowl against Carolina and Cam Newton. He didn't really have to do much, but that was a couple years removed from throwing 50-something odd touchdowns when everyone thought his career was over with the neck injury. Michael Jordan. I mean, that's think about it. If he doesn't retire, they're winning 8. They're winning 8. That's a fact.
I agree. But see, Michael Jordan is the only person that people don't really say he didn't leave on top. Nobody really remembers Jordan coming back after winning 6 championships with the Bulls. And people will always think about he's done. Came back and played with the Wizards. Yeah. You know, led the Wizards to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Led them to the playoffs.
But guys do that. It's ego. You still think you can play, right? Your mind's telling you one thing, but the body might be. And Michael Jordan still, at his advanced age, scored, he was scoring what, 20-something, 23, 24. Look, man, does it hurt these guys' legacies? Like, if LeBron plays another 3 or 4 years, he's just a specimen, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's absurd. Being 35, 36 and logging 38 minutes and still scoring like 26, 28 points a night. If he drops off,
he's 38 right now. Isn't LeBron like 38?
Yeah. And the Brady thing is, and your guy Max said it years ago, he thought Brady was done. Brady was shot. Brady's done. And look at the numbers that he put up afterwards, right? Remember that clip? It went viral. Oh, he'll never win. He turns around, he wins 3 more Super Bowls. So, what the hell do we know? It's very hard to watch great players kind of limp towards the finish line. It's not fun to watch. I mean, it's not. And we rarely get the guy that goes out on top, right? Because some of these players, I mean, look, I'm sure you know this, some NFL players, and I know a couple that are currently playing that I know for a fact why they're still playing. Some need the money. Some want that other contract. Some don't want to let it go. Some want to try to win a ring. Some want to, they believe the body can still perform. Brady's interesting. Montana finished with Kansas City.
Rich, I just realized I don't have the light on in here.
Yeah, but you're fine. You're good.
Huh? No, the light to the room. It's not on. Only my ring light is on. And I'm wondering why I'm so dark sitting here. Damn. I'm looking at the wall. I'm looking at the wall like the light is really off.
But listen, you got no shine today, man. You're glossy. You're good.
There's a little shine.
Look at it, and you trimmed it up. You cleaned it up a little bit too.
Oh no, I didn't do much to it. I'm supposed to do it tomorrow, man.
You're gonna keep it neat like this, right?
Yeah, like yours. I'm keep it neat.
Yeah, like that. Look like the.
But mine won't be as thick. Because don't go that thick. I look like a mangy dog when I grow my beard out.
Yeah.
We got spots everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's bad. It's bad.
You're funny.
But yeah, but no, I feel bad, man. You're back on topic, man. Like he just had 7 Super Bowl rings, 10 different appearances.
You're gonna feel bad for him,
and he don't go to the. Well, I mean, I feel bad for him. You know, he's about to walk right in and make money with
Fox. Not net. Yeah, I feel bad for Greg Olson, but he knew what he was getting into, but
he even said it.
Yeah.
But they'll find somewhere else for Olsen though. Yeah, they won't get rid of him completely.
Come on, man. You see how much some of these guys are getting paid,
right? And I'm only trying to get in the game and do a little bit of it. And I can't get a shot. Can't get a shot.
You need to do SEC football. I've
been trying to put in some words to be able to do that, man. Just not as welcome as some other guys, man. That's it. It's not that I can't talk to people. It's not that I don't understand. It's not that people don't understand me. You know, I know what I'm talking about. I have knowledge. I've done it. I've played the game. I've played in the SEC. I've done a hell of a lot more than a lot of these guys are doing. You know, there's certain things that I see that I watch on TV. Like there's a lot of guys like myself that's out. That's looking for a job with the media, and we just don't get that opportunity because they have to keep it even. They have to keep it even. They have to give women shots as well. So guys like us, we got to wait our turn.
Yeah, but I'll say this though. I think there are some guys on TV that have no idea what they're talking about. I think there are some very good women on TV that do a good job. And then I also think there are some that, and again, I'm not being sexist, man. I'm just keeping it real.
Just what it is. I mean,
I don't agree. I don't agree with some of the takes, and I don't understand how some of them were given certain roles. But I say the same thing with some of these guys. Look, anytime a notable player was retiring, the mothership snapped them up.
Mm-hmm.
Or NFL Network or Fox. I mean, I get it. You're just going to play. But, the old, well, you never played, so you don't know what you're talking about. For a guy like me, I'm like, come on, man, I can hold my own and talk any sport with anyone.
Yeah, you can. You're good. You can go all the way back to the 70s, man, and talk about guys that played in the 60s.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't, I mean, it is what it is. You're going to find listen, you got your spot, man. It's coming. You got your spot. You don't have to worry about that. That's why I always think it's interesting when when we talk about these games and we break down these games, and like you can actually take it too from a outside the field player's perspective, like i.e., okay, Odell Beckham. So Beckham finally signs a deal, but it's with the Ravens.
Let's talk about that.
So, I find this fascinating because I never thought he was going to re-sign with the Giants. I never thought he was going to sign with the Jets. Giants were not going to pay him $18 million. So God bless him for getting that money, for missing an entire season. Right. And he's been injury prone over the last several years, albeit in the Super Bowl with the Rams. You could argue he would have been the MVP if he doesn't get hurt. I still think he has some gas left in the tank, but
yeah, me too.
I'm wondering, was there a wink, wink, come to us and we guarantee Lamar Jackson is going to be the quarterback?
I have no idea, but that's where it seemed like this thing has went. It seemed like it has went there, and barely any talk about, what's going on with Lamar Jackson now. I guess people know whatever they offered him in Baltimore is probably the most that anyone's going to offer him. Because I know for damn sure, Rich, if I am a general manager and I need a quarterback, I'm not going to give Lamar Jackson that type of money when he missed 11 games, 12 games the last 2 years. I mean, I want the guy to get his money. I want him to get paid. I want him to get whatever it is he thinks he's deserved, like no question about it. But if I'm a general manager, I'm not paying him that type of money.
Well, but he wants all guaranteed. Well, first of all, look, do you think 18 million for Beckham for a second to get to him? That's a lot of money for a wide receiver.
Oh yeah, it is, especially a guy who missed the whole season and kind of just coming back off of an injury. Again, I love the fact that Odell got the money because that's my guy. And I love the fact that he got it. But me as a general manager, I'm just not sure that I would be able to do that.
But you pay him 18, and now on that roster, along with the tight end Mark Andrews, there's Bateman, there's a veteran Nelson Aguilar, and then there's Beckham. So Beckham automatically comes in, aside from the tight end, as the number one receiver. But you also have a quarterback that likes to sit in the pocket and move around and scramble. So I'm thinking, I don't know, like, walk me through it. When you don't have a lot of suitors out there, does it now become who flirts with you the most and who's going to hand over the most cash? Like, how do you decide, if no one's knocking down your door, how to make that decision? Because let's just say Lamar Jackson decides, you know what? I'm not playing, man. I'm not playing, because I think it was 5 days before they gave him that non-exclusive tag in March, he requested to be traded. So if Lamar Jackson decides to sit and you don't have a quarterback, does Odell Beckham, who's still going to collect his 18 million, does he say to himself, I'm wasting another year of my career?
Absolutely. I agree with you. Unless they can get somebody in there to get him the ball, which I don't think, to be honest with you, may not be hard when he's a number one wide receiver, but I don't know who they're going to get in there.
But is he a good fit with a quarterback like Lamar Jackson?
I'm not sure. I mean, this man is used to the ball being out at the back of the drop, at the back of the QB drop. Now he might get to the back of the QB drop, 5 steps to the right, 5 steps to the left, 5 steps up the middle. It doesn't matter. You don't know. You have to always run a continuous scramble drill with guys like Lamar Jackson because he's never still. I don't know how it can help Odell. I mean, he got to be ready because he's going to have to stay on the move all the time.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around this. You were getting ready to meet with the Jets. Baltimore comes along, 18 million, but you, quote, didn't get any assurances that the franchise quarterback would be back in 2023. I would be a little hesitant to sign that contract. That's me.
I know they've been, that they FaceTimed and they did everything. I'm not sure, if they had, Odell signing with the Ravens got something to do with Lamar Jackson coming back. He was so adamant about getting his money. He was so adamant about his fully guaranteed contract. That can't change because they just signed Odell Beckham. Something's going on. Something's fishy. You got to worry about yourself and get as much as you can when it's your opportunity. So just because they signed Odell, I'm not sure that, he should be thinking of going back just because of that. He needs to stick to his guns to get the money he thinks he deserves.
How about Big Ben critiquing Lamar Jackson's game on Twitter, saying, quote,
I missed it. What did he say about him?
He said, you don't really fear his accuracy all the time. I guess he was tweeting back and forth with Michael Phelps, the gold medal winner, the swimmer. He's a big Ravens fan. So, he said, with Lamar, you want to bring safeties down to help stop the run. Actually, he said this on his pod. You don't really fear Lamar's accuracy all the time. He's got a huge arm. He can make things happen when he scrambles, but you don't fear him just sitting in the pocket and picking you apart. So you bring safeties down because you do fear him running because he's a different level runner. So you fear that. Makes sense. Okay. But now,
so
if
you
you
play
got that
man
guy,
instead.
Huh?
So you go out and play man because he's not that accurate.
Yeah, bingo. But now if you got that guy on the outside, you better put a safety back or it's one-on-one and you can just throw it to him. So, the year that he won his MVP, he threw for a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns. He put up monster numbers. And if you recall, during the season, you and I thought 6-7 weeks in, he's going to break the bank because he was going to be the MVP.
Yeah, I remember. But he got hurt and he missed the last, 6 games?
Yes.
5 games or something like that, including a playoff game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
He didn't even show up. He didn't travel. And I think that's a
right,
bad look.
right.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure he wanted to be in Baltimore.
But those, the quarterback that runs around and scrambles, like Michael Vick back in the day, even Cunningham can do everything. But I always felt, I mean, he was just a giant killer back in the day. Cunningham was when he was with the Eagles. He would instantly, as soon as the pass rush came, it's not that he had to step in the pocket. He would just pull the ball down and scramble all over the friggin' place. Vic, I think, wanted to run first and throw second. When you look at Lamar Jackson, does Lamar Jackson, in your estimation, want to stand in the pocket and deliver the ball and take the hit? Or does he decide a couple seconds prior to, I'm just going to take off and run? Like when you watch
Well,
Lamar Jackson.
I think he knows. I mean, I'm not. The stuff he does isn't predetermined, but I don't think he reads everything he needs to read and scan the field before he takes off.
Okay.
I don't know if he ever gets to his third read before he takes off. I know first, sometimes maybe second, sometimes only first, and he just takes off.
But can you win? Can you build around? Can you win with quarterbacks like that, especially ones that will take hits, whether they get hit in the pocket or they're scrambling, I guess is the question, right? So, and the light looks good, by the way.
Yeah, right.
I see that halo now. There you go. Can you win with a guy like Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, I think you can win with a guy like Lamar Jackson. I mean, I'm not against a guy like Lamar. I think Lamar is definitely a Super Bowl contending type guy with his ability. But adding a guy like Odell Beckham to him, if they can get timing down and Odell learn really, okay, I'm playing with this type of quarterback now. I got no Eli. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that. I got a guy that's gonna move around. It's gonna run a little bit. So I gotta stay on the move. If he's scrambling, I gotta scramble I gotta run my route to him.
Yeah.
I always gotta stay to him. Or down the field if he's scrambling to the side I'm already on. It's just like so he's gonna have to be ready. He's gonna have to be in shape in order to, but I just hope they get it time. If Lamar goes back, I hope they get the timing down and they go to the Super Bowl and win it. Who knows?
By the way, you can't dispute Beckham's numbers early on with Eli.
Crazy.
Right?
Top 3 rookie of all time.
Yeah.
Numbers.
Yeah. And again, even 2016, a lot of, I don't want to say bailed out, the 4th and 1, he took it to the house against Baltimore. He had the big slant play against the Dallas game, but then he had the big drops in the wild card game against Green Bay. But for everyone sitting there saying, who's to blame? Who's to blame? I mean, then he goes and, can't get it done with Baker Mayfield, had the little burst with the Rams, and now has an opportunity if it's going to be Lamar Jackson. I just don't think any quarterback, like I said, Cleveland was a fool. That was the owner that decided, I'm going to go rogue and I'm going to give Deshaun Watson
right
guaranteed money. And every owner afterwards is like, no. Every GM's like, absolutely not. There's no such thing as every single cent guaranteed. Right?
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah, he did.
It was the dumbest deal. The league's most assholes decision making. Cleveland is the worst. Cleveland has went back to the worst franchise in the National Football.
Next to Jacksonville, your second favorite.
I got to get off of Jacksonville's back, man. They showed me
because they won a playoff game.
Yeah, they got a good quarterback. They're making moves toward greatness. I got to get off of Jacksonville's back. I got to give it back to Cleveland by making that whoever. I mean, more power to the guy. Being a player like myself and watching him have, get that money, I'm all happy for him. There's no question about it. But
all right, player to player here, running back to running back. Speaking of players wanting to get paid, so Saquon won't sign the franchise tag, which means he'll miss the offseason program. According to reports, there's no potential of a no camp holdout. So let me just ask you this. That number is 10.1 million in 2023. he turned, apparently by all reports, and I don't know what you know or what you've heard, he turned down a contract after the bye week around 12 million, 12 and a half. So if you, first of all, based on the year that he had, fifth year option, right? 1,312 yards, bounce back year, obviously 10 touchdowns. Obviously was one of the big offensive weapons for Daniel Jones and the Giants offense. Where would you cap him at? Like when you look at Saquon Barkley, the type of running back he is, worked on his blocking, can catch the ball out of the backfield now, 1,300 plus yards, healthy, money wise. If I said, okay, B, put a number on this guy, what would it be?
See, I would say right at what he has, and with the Giants offer him at 12, 12 and a half, maybe 13 million a year. Here's the thing, Rich. I don't think that top number is a problem for Saquon Barkley. I don't think $12.5 million is a problem for Saquon Barkley to come back and play at. I don't think that at all. I think it's more the problem of the guarantee that's offered throughout that contract is the reason he did not sign the contract, right? Because he'll end up playing at the franchise tag at 10.5 or 10.3 or whatever it is.
Correct.
1 year when you can get 12.5, 13 a year. I think it's a guaranteed part of that really people not thinking when we're talking about the 12 million or 12.5 a year is what we're talking about. But the guarantee is the most important part of the deal. Who knows what they offer him? No one knows what
as a guarantee. So if they said, hey, we'll go 3 for 36 with 20 guaranteed, is that doable?
3 for 36. Yeah, I think that's doable. I think that's definitely doable.
But you got your 12 million. I'm giving you 20 million guaranteed out of a $36 million contract for a running back who's had injuries.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. 20 is definitely a good number. I don't know what they offer them.
So I forgive me for asking again, and you have to refresh my memory. You got tagged, right?
I got tagged and then we negotiated.
Okay.
They tagged me at $7.5 million, and then we renegotiated for a contract. I was still going to workouts. I was still doing everything, even on the tag. And then they ended up getting it done, which I thought I was worth a little bit more than what I actually got. But my agent was there to put me in my place. It was like, no, you're not worth that. Let's not do that. But I'm saying, but Marion Barber just got $42 million. Yeah, Marion Barber got $42 million, and I feel like I'm better than him.
Do you remember what your contract was roundabout?
Yeah, my contract was, I'm thinking, I remember 4 years, 30 with like 17 or something like that.
15, 17 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay, so out of that, say 15 million guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
You get hit with tax on that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Your agent.
Mm-hmm. 3%.
3%. So you probably lose what? 5, 6.
Half of it.
Half of it.
I think.
Man, I was never good at math, but that sounds like a lot.
Yeah, you might have a little bit more than that.
Wow. And you still did all your off-season?
Oh, I still did all the off-season stuff. I was at the facility. I was there every day.
Is that overblown if somebody misses the off-season program? Are we reading into this? Do we think the next step is he's going to be a camp holdout?
Yeah, guy missed the offseason program, and he's going through contract disputes and negotiations. I definitely think that he's going to sit training camp out if something isn't done. Now, Saquon Barkley, I don't know if he's going to sign the tag. I don't know if he's just not planning on playing this year, but I know the Giants want him to be there. They did Daniel Jones's deal. Who I thought, I think I would have done that the opposite way if I was the Giants.
What do you mean?
They got to give Saquon the contract and franchise Daniel Jones, and give me that next year to get that $7.5 million back that we lost against the cap of Kenny Golladay.
Yeah, here's the problem with that though. What's the biggest concern when you talk about Saquon Barkley?
Injuries. him getting hurt and not being available.
3 consecutive seasons, right?
Mhm.
And missed all of pretty much 2020 because of a torn ACL in that knee. You know this. What's the life expectancy of a running back?
2.5 years. I'll round up and say 3.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think he's a phenomenal player, and I'll go back on the record. I sounded like a jackass because I thought he was pretty much done. I said it on 27 and Q, and you told me flat out it was a jackass thing to say, because you saw, and he came back and he had a monster year.
Yeah, just like I knew he would, though. I know he'd do that.
You called it, but here's the problem: when you draft 2 players like that in the top 10, and one's a quarterback and one's a running back, and you're building a franchise. Who are you building the franchise around? You're building around the quarterback, right? And then you're building that line in and out, and everything else is secondary. Your running back, your wide receiver. Get them and decided we got to draft this kid, and it's almost like now the Giants have to kind of pay for the sin, so to speak, because they were 2 high draft picks. But one, I don't believe the running back position is a premium position. It's not like
No, it's not.
it's not like the quarterback position.
No, it's not like any other. It's not like any other position. Running backs, kickers, and safeties go along the same line. Who make the most money out of them? Too. I got to go safety, running back, then kicker.
Yeah.
Right. No, we're not important anymore. But we do everything. But the thing is, we do everything, and there's so many guys with that type of ability that can sit in the backfield and start and pick up blitzes and catch passes out of the backfield. They will never ever pay backs anymore. It's done. I think it's over with. Yeah. I think 12.5 million would have been good, but again, we don't know the guarantee, the number on top.
Nope, 100%. Listen, I would love to see him remain a Giant, but I also know the business side of it, right? I mean, you know the business side of it.
Right.
You said it again. They don't pay running backs, and now it's all about the lockdown corner. It's about the pass rusher, the defensive end, the left tackle, the offensive tackle. Got to protect the quarterback's blind side. These guys are breaking the bank. All right, we got a couple minutes left. NBA playoffs. My Lakers are not cooked.
But the Lakers were. But see, your Lakers were cooked when they had Westbrook, though. Yeah. You wasn't going for it. You wasn't hearing any of this.
Horrible.
You got to be shitting me, Rich. You wasn't even trying to understand what I was telling you. I kept saying Westbrook is going to get a ring with the Lakers. I want the Lakers to win. You said, "Oh, the Lakers are shot. They're old. They don't have anything." And now they're your fucking Lakers. Like, are you kidding me? Are you shitting me? Like, you serious? What?
There's like
talk a little bit about that, man, because I want to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Big time LeBron fan, obviously.
Yeah.
For myself. What you think about him and the injury that he had? Sat out all those games, and the team made the trade for D'Angelo Russell and somebody else, and then went on and ripped off like 8 straight.
I know where you're going with this.
Got it. They got into the playoffs and making moves, and he decides to come back.
Yeah. Are you
like, what do you think that is?
Are you saying that's LeBron's way of saying I'm not playing until you fix this team?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I just think he waited good to come back. I mean, I don't think if the winning would have started, I'm still not sure he'd be back.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, there could be some truth to that. I mean, look, the NBA is vastly different from the NFL, because in the NFL, if you don't like it, I'm going to trade you or I'm going to release you. In the NBA, it is a, quote, players league. LeBron James runs the Lakers. He ran the Cavs and to some extent Miami. That's just who LeBron James is. I mean, it's an interesting theory. I don't know if it's a little possum or not. I mean, his numbers for his age, and by the way, they're a slight dog in this series against the Grizzlies, but they can actually, Memphis, I think, is minus 130. I think they can beat them because you got James, you got Davis, and Memphis doesn't have Steven Adams, and they don't have Brandon Clark. So think about this. Who are you going to give the edge to in the post? It's going to be the Lakers. And LeBron's your X factor. Memphis obviously with John, whatnot. Let me give you LeBron's. It's ridiculous. LeBron
The
James,
guy's a beast, man.
35 minutes, 28 points. He played 54 games. I mean, shooting percentage is always where it is. He's added 9 rebounds, 7 assists. It would be something, man, if they made it to the Western Conference Finals against your Clippers.
Listen,
Gonna get
I follow
smoked by
Westbrook.
Phoenix.
I follow Westbrook. I want Westbrook to get a ring for so many different reasons, man. The guy was a phenomenal. The guy's a phenomenal talent. I just don't want to see him leave the league without a ring. Even though he doesn't really care about it, I care about it for him. I care about it for him. Russ has done a lot in the NBA. He's put up outstanding numbers. He destroyed Oscar Robertson, I think, in a triple-double. He destroyed him on numbers that people say will never be beaten, right? He's destroyed that. So I want him to be able to have an opportunity to get a ring to really make his career. I can't say his career don't mean anything without a ring because that's bullshit. But I honestly want him to get a ring so he just couldn't solidify things he's done throughout his career.
That's a tough series against Phoenix, man.
It's tough. I think they can beat Phoenix though, because I don't think Phoenix is tough like that.
You
I
mean
don't think they're a tough group of guys.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Don't win their 50 something odd games and get bounced.
Yeah, so I want West to have an opportunity to win one. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't see anybody off the West even beating Milwaukee.
Coming out of the East. How about Boston?
Yeah, but I'm saying whoever win over there, I think they're playing the second. I think they're playing for second place in the West.
So you got the Warriors, Kings, you got the Nets, 76ers should win that series. If they don't, Doc Rivers is going to get fired. Bulls and Heat, Thunder, T-Wolves, Atlanta, Boston. Atlanta's a big time underdog against Boston. My Knicks against the Cavs. I don't know. No Randall. I don't know what's going to happen to that series. I think Boston and/or Milwaukee is going to play in the Eastern Conference Finals.
And Milwaukee's going to beat them like they stole something, and they're going to go win the NBA Finals in 6.
Who's coming out of the West?
The Clippers going to come out the West. I just want Westbrook to get it.
You can't say that.
I can say that. You asked me a question. I answered the question. I can say that.
Hold on. If Westbrook was on the T-Wolves, then you would have said.
I'll say the Timberwolves coming out the West. No. Or the East, whatever it is, the Timberwolves.
They're on the West. You're fine.
Yeah, they're in the West. I want West to get a ring, but just with me knowing the sport, knowing the guys that's playing the game, it's going to be a tough road. Tough. It's going to be tough sledding for the Clippers to actually come through everything they have to come through with Denver. It's going to be tough. The Warriors, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for anybody to beat a healthy Warriors team.
Well, I think it's going to be tough. I don't think Phoenix is as soft as you perceive them. I just think they're the better team, and I see them winning that series in 6 or 7 games. I really do. I've never been.
It's going to definitely be 6 or 7 games. We do know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I'm not going to sit here and say 4 or 5. I'm not going to say that. 6, definitely 6. I like that Bulls in Miami series.
Yeah, I want the Bulls on. That's my team. The Bulls are my team. I want the Bulls to win, but I'm a Westbrook fan, man. Like, I want to see him win.
No, hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame player. I mean, you can't dispute the stats. I mean,
I don't think we should use those words when talking about the NBA.
What?
Hall of Fame. Doesn't mean anything. Everybody's in the Hall of Fame in the NBA.
Well, but the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, because they look at your whole career. They look at college, pros, Olympics, overseas, right? Yeah, I mean, is it somewhat saturated? Sure. But I can say I can say that, no disrespect. NFL Hall of Fame, sometimes there's guys that I would argue maybe.
Let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, I don't have the list in front of me. That's going to be for next
week.
I'm
just saying guys who you think that's made it recently or 10 years ago that shouldn't have made it.
I
You give me one guy.
I'll give you a perfect example. I'm going to get hammered for saying this.
It's okay.
Terrell Davis did not play long enough for me to sit there and say he was a Hall of Famer. He was on his way to being a Hall of Famer, but he had 3 to 4 years. And then you looked at what he did in the playoffs, and he helped complement that offense for Elway. But I don't look at him and say he's one of the all-time greatest running backs ever. He was an all-pro. He rushed for, I think, I think Terrell Davis scored only 60 touchdowns, and I don't even think he cracked 8,000 yards. But he won 2 Super Bowls. He was a big-time playoff running back. But I don't look at him and say, all right, this guy, this guy instilled fear. I mean, it wasn't like when Barry was playing where you just had to scheme and scheme and scheme, or Emmett to some extent.
Yeah, Barry was different.
Or Eric Dickerson, right? You got to come off the angle with Eric Dickerson. You got to go waist high. Walter Payton. I mean, he had a great career, but it was just condensed. I bet you not even 8,000 yards, and I bet you right around 60 touchdowns. But if you look at his playoffs, he probably averaged about $140 in the playoffs. What do you got?
Well, we say his stats. So, it's different categories for stats. As we always talk about, the way they break down, get the games and make you accept Terrell Davis by saying he rushed for 7,607 yards in just 78 games.
Plus,
put it in a
2,000 yards. You're right. I got you. You're right.
So they put it in that category to make guys like you say, well, he didn't play long enough. He didn't do this. So he did this in 78 games, sir. So that's what they want to do. I'm with you. I like Terrell Davis. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. But to make you understand and accept the things that you said that wasn't that great, which is the stats.
Guys like me. Look at you, Bart. Why? Because I talked about the running back position.
I'm talking
about a defensive back, you're probably not even freaking saying anything.
I touched your fraternity. Richard, I'm being understanding with you, man. Being understanding. That's what it is. I just want to let you see. Okay, so I looked at it. I'm like, well, 7,607 yards.
Yeah.
And 60 touchdowns. And I'm like, well, shit, that's not that much.
Yeah.
But it's just in 78 games. So I'm like, whoo. That's not that many games to have those type of numbers.
He basically went the old school where he pulled the Richard out. Like he was about to just, like settle down, like parent teacher conference, the whole name, just, all right, I see where we're going with this. We'll get into this a little more next week. I'll have a list of a couple players we can dissect. And then we got the fights to get into, and then we'll be knee deep in the NBA. I'll tell you what, you're looking a little leaner before I let you get out of here.
Me?
I saw you posting on IG.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to get right, man. I'm trying to lose some weight. I got about 15 pounds to knock off. Turn a little bit of this fat into some muscle. It'd be good. I'm trying to get right for the summer.
Once it gets hot down there, man, walk right outside and just.
No, it ain't like that.
No?
No, not when you're 40 years old. This is not gonna happen. But you gotta do a little bit more than that. Like put a row machine in a sauna or something and just row in the sauna just so you sweat your life away. I got like 12 to 15 pounds to knock off. I can see my abs. I can't see my abs right now. So
that's good. It's all diet. That's good.
Oh, I thought you said it's good that I couldn't see my abs.
No, I said that's good that you'll start to see your abs, man.
Yeah. I'm
starting to. Do I see potato chip bags over there?
No, you don't see potato chip bags, man. You don't see potatoes. I would never, Richard. I would never. I would never.
It's the spicy margaritas, man. They'll do it all.
I haven't had one of them in a minute.
You didn't have a beverage when you were?
Oh, I did have a beverage over there. I did.
You should. You have to live a
But there
little.
was all kinds of different drinks. I like I would ask the waitresses, "What's your favorite drink?" And they would say, "Well, my favorite drink." I was like, "Let me get that." Like that's what I would do.
Did you have a little rum?
Yeah, I had some rum. I had some Caribbean rum. I had a couple of rum punches with the Caribbean rum. Man, it was good. It was good. I must say, it was a
I
great
could just
place, man.
picture you with the straw hat.
I have a straw hat. I have a straw hat. I bought one while I was over there.
That's good, man. I'm glad you had a
Mhm.
nice time. You're fine.
Yeah, man. For real.
Getting on me about the running backs. All right, big man. We are out of time,
We are out of
which
time and
means
at
say
the
what you
end.
have to say.
Say, right. Well, everybody, here we go. This is how we're going to do it. Respect thy neighbor. Respect others. Have great humanities. Like, please, thank you. Yes, sir. No, sir. And fucking thank you. So you guys have a great one out there. Be safe. Stay out of harm's way. Again, good humanities. Respect the citizen near you, no matter the color or race. Treat them as they are somebody. So have a good one, everybody. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Peace.
There you have it from that man right there, the two-time Super Bowl champ from the New York Football Giants, the great running back number 27, Brandon Jacobs. I'm Rich Quinones. Don't forget, check us out on social media as well. Subscribe to YouTube channel. We got a lot of stuff going on. We will do it again right back here next week. Big man, always good to see you, my friend.
It's good to see you too, my brother. It's good to catch up with you, man.
No doubt. We'll do it again next week.
Yes, sir.